Hey, what's going on? This is your Uncle Steve, and we're in Uncle Steve's lounge for an unexpected, quick, we hope quick, pop in show. Talking a little bit about the Atlanta Falcons. Had a lot of things happen today. But the one thing that just got my attention was a recent clip from Amon-Ra St. Brown and how horrible the Atlanta Falcons fans are. I just thought that was something that we should talk about today, and I wanna see what you gotta say about it, and we'll talk about it in just a second. What is going on, everyone, and how are you doing today on this nice, well, at least now it is, nice Tuesday evening? Starting to get a little heat back in the house after rain early in the day, some nasty storms, things of that nature. But we're here back in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Appreciate y'all coming in here and joining me for a very unscripted, unplanned pop in to talk a little bit about the Atlanta Falcons. We had a lot of Atlanta Falcons things going on, but I kind of wanted to center it around one thing. But before I get into that, thank you for coming in. As you're coming in, if you don't mind, push that like button for me so you can get this video out to the neither all of the other little lands so everybody can see what we're talking about here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. We talk mostly Atlanta Falcons, but we talk everything else too. And today is kind of a cross mix between the Atlanta Falcon news and a little bit of social media ish type stuff. So, starting off the news today, a lot of good news. The Atlanta Falcons announced for the first time in a decade or so that they have completely sold out all season ticket packages. I mean, every season ticket package. Can you believe that? And that's awesome. I mean, and let's keep it real, even with the moves we've had this season. Um, uh, do you attribute a lot of it to Kirk Cousins? Probably a substantial amount. And also, maybe the excitement over Michael Penix Jr. and what the future could mean to this franchise. I can see that having a little bit to do with it as well. Or is it just an overall excitement for the Atlanta Falcons themselves? Believe that. That could be it. I truly think we are ushering in a new era here in Atlanta. Now I know I talked a lot on Sunday about pessimism and how sometimes even though you see on the outside the moves are being made and things of that nature, but there is something in the air that's a little different up at Flowery Branch this year. Now, I'm all for pom poms and rah rah, and no disrespect to Raheem. I'm all down for that, but obviously we got to see what happens on the field as well. But I've got to admit, there's some excitement going on. Arthur Blank came out today, spoke to the media. Arthur didn't look like he's kind of ornery today. He wasn't, he wasn't taking that jump from reporters today. It didn't seem like it, at least. Which I don't blame him. They've been crapping on him for years. But good for Arthur coming out. Coach Raw came out today, had a nice little press conference. Also, the pivot, Ryan Clark, Channing Crowder, and Fred Taylor had their episode. They looked like they taped up at Flowery Branch. Some good stuff from Raheem on that one as well. But what I wanted to talk about specifically today was my new target. My new target, Mr. Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I was looking at the little Hot Ones segment that they do, the stuff where they put the little stuff on and it's real hot. And I don't even get the novelty of putting something hot in your mouth and seeing somebody react to it. That's weird to me, but that's what people watch these days. More power to them, more power to their views. So this particular episode had Devontae Adams, late of the Packers, but last couple of years with the Las Vegas Raiders. And all of a sudden, now great Amon-Ra St. Brown. And don't get me wrong, young brother got some talent. Definitely stepped up the wide receiver game in the Motor City. Now, they were on a show where the question was asked about the worst fans in the NFL. And the question was posed to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, he immediately, as he should, say the Packers were the worst fans, but he noted that they're good fans, but he just hates them because they play for the Packers. That's their natural rival, a la Falcons Saints. Then he put on his Dave Chappelle hat and wanted to crap on my favorite team and your favorite team, the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are the worst team. I was a rookie. We went there and there was nobody there. So I don't know. Is it that much to do in Atlanta? Well, first of all, Amon-Ra, which is a whole other story. Yes, there is a lot more to do in Atlanta. Maybe because you're in Detroit, you don't know that. But there is a lot more to do in Atlanta. But I also, as my good friend Lisa Shepard pointed out on one of the posts today that I was watching, that game was around the holiday season at a time where both teams were nowhere near playoff contention. And I don't know about you. I go to all the games, and I'm not saying that to put a brand on or put a star by an asterisk by my name, but I'm just kind of the fan that, for the most part, barring something wrong with me or barring something emergency or something like that, I'm going to be at the game because I just like being at the game. There are about 40% of Atlanta fans, Atlanta Falcon season ticket holders, that I think feel the same as I do, because that's pretty much a core that you'll have out there. Got a guy that sits across me from my aisle, and he and I have, ever since I got my new seats in the bins, he and I have pounded up and high-fived it up ever since they opened the place. And we bonded over that. That's that fandom. So for Mr. Brown, St. Brown, my apologies, for Mr. St. Brown to make such a statement, it kind of ticked me off. And let me make it clear why it ticked me off. I can't disagree with him. We do have a stadium sometimes that's a little half full, sometimes less, depending on what's going on with the win-loss situation. And for somebody who is kind of young in the league, they might not get what was going on in the Georgia Dome. They might not get the dynamic that we went from the Georgia Dome to the PSL connected Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and realize that there are a lot of really good fans out there. I mean, there are a ton of really good fans out there that have just been outpriced at the Benz. Let's face it, call a spade a spade. We can debate whether that makes you a super fan if you can afford to go to a game, which is ridiculous. There are a lot of really diehard Atlanta fans that just can't afford those astronomical prices for those seats. Now, I also balance that with the news today about the season tickets selling out, which is great news for the Falcons. But just because those tickets sell out, all those people don't go to the games. I know they don't. I've seen it. They announced before the game, oh, tickets are sold out for the Falcons game. And then you get to the Falcons game and you see 70% capacity. The last few years is no excuse. We haven't been productive. We haven't had a winning season. Hope springs eternal at the beginning of the year. You see big crowds at the beginning of I think the last couple of years, Carolina crowd, the New Orleans crowd the year before, the home openers, they've been exciting. And even the season openers, even the season opener we had a couple of years ago against the Saints wasn't 100%. Blame it on economics. No, I'm not about to get political with folks. But the average fan cannot afford those tickets. I and a gaggle of other folks are blessed to be able to do so. But I can't tell someone who are maybe have a family, maybe have a situation, how to spend your recreational dollar. And while Mr. St. Brown's comments were definitely meant to slight and definitely meant to kind of crap on Atlanta's legacy or whatever, I am hoping and praying that we get a playoff game, ironically, that would have us win the division and have them as a wild card and come into the same aforementioned worst fan place. So I just wanted to get a feel for what people were thinking about that. Because as the conversation and people start posting, y'all know I'm in the Atlanta Bird Gang. Shout out to Tidy Jones. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to his channel, Atlanta Bird Gang, and check us out on the Facebook page. But I'm interested to know, is there a true line drawn where people understand just because you don't have a 100% filled stadium doesn't mean the fandom isn't strong? Mr. St. Brown, this is the first year in a long time this past season where Detroit was amongst one of the better teams. He doesn't know that because he hadn't been in the league that long. But we know Detroit has been one of the most feudal teams. Even Atlanta can say, oh, man, Detroit sucks. Because they've had worse years at it than we have. They've never been to a Super Bowl. No need for them to start bragging now. So when I hear Amon-Ra, who might be high off of his Madden rating, talk about how bad the fans are, it ticks me off. But there's also a part of me and my ego as a fan that wants to say, dang, I really do want more people in the bins. But I can't pay for your ticket. So I can't be critical of what people are doing. It's a conundrum. How do I tell other folks how to spend it? I can't sit here and say, well, y'all come on to the stadium, man. Y'all not real fans. Y'all come to the stadium. Because I'm not paying for your ticket. I could barely pay for mine. And parking. And yeah, they sweetened the deal by not charging for food, but I'll leave it right there. It's not like you talk about gourmet. I mean, it is good. I don't want to crap on that. But I just want to know how everyone else feels about that. All right, I'm not here to debate whether Amon-Ra St. Brown took a horrible shot at us. He did. And hopefully Falcon players and folks, if we get a chance to see them in the postseason, we don't play them this year. So hopefully if we see them in the postseason, we'll be able to take care of Mr. St. Brown and the Detroit Lions. But I do want to hear what y'all think about that. And anything else y'all heard about the Atlanta Falcons today. But that bothered me. It bothers me when people talk about the fandom of Atlanta. You don't have to be front row center at every game to be a strong Atlanta Falcons fan. I truly believe that. Some people just do things differently, man. And quite honestly, in retrospect, I kind of wish they would have remodeled the dome instead of making a new facility. The facility is great, but it's obvious that you've outpriced a lot of your folks. And that just bothers me because I know it's a lot of good folks. I see a lot of folks out there tailgating, love to stop by, honk, see what's going on. But what y'all think about that? Let me get to the chat in here. Dexter Owens is in the house. What's going on, Dex? How you feeling, sir? Good to see you. My brother Millie Mills is in here. Millie Mills says, because Kirko Chains is quarterback. That's why. Yeah, I hear you. That's definitely one of the reasons why there is some more excitement in here. That's for sure. And maybe the selling out. My brother Kelvin is in the house. What's going on, Kelvin? Good evening, everyone. Hall of Fame game Thursday and preseason is close. Yes, we will have Hall of Fame. We will have actual teams on a field competing, albeit preseason, but getting us started. Falcons will be right in the mix next week doing this thing. Millie Mills says, and plus Coach Haim is here. Real, recognized, real, we want to see our black head coach lead our team and supporting it. I could agree with that. I'll be quite honest with you. I'm so hungry for a win. Skin color doesn't mean as much to me as far as the winning thing. It's nice to see it. I applaud it. I recognize it. But quite honestly, I don't care who you are at this point. If you come in and you're a good coach and you can win, that's fine. But it's not lost upon me, Mills. We're in Atlanta. We're in the Black Mecca in the United States. So, yeah, that could play something into it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it wouldn't. Mills says, why was Steve Smith in our building? Well, he still does work for the NFL Network. So yeah, that's what it is. Larry from the Dixon Way is in the house. What's going on, Larry? Y'all make sure y'all check out the Dixon Way. Best live reaction videos going on in the Atlanta area. I'm sure he'll be covering that Brewers game. Braves made a nice trade today. Or did they? They made a nostalgic trade today. Earlier this year, we reacquired Eddie Rosario, I should say. And now we got Soler back in the house. We did have to part with Tyler Matzik, though. I'm really a little upset about that. Tyler Matzik might have, and I mean this, as much as Jose Soler's moment meant a lot in that game against Houston, I still think Tyler Matzik had probably the most important moment ever, next to David Justice's home run when in postseason. Well, I'm putting it that way. David Justice's home run, Sid Bream's slide off of Francisco Cabrera, and Tyler Matzik with runners on second and third against LA in the NC in the league championship. Striking out the side. Albert Pujols, can't remember who the second person was, and what's my buddy? Mookie Betts. So I hate to see Matzik go, but he's been hurt. So just hate to see that. But hopefully that'll get the Braves jump started. Dirty Bird 67's in the house. What's going on, sir? What's up, in chat? We getting close and close to football. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Speaking of football, Coach's Corner in the house. My brother Dre. What's going on, Dre? He said, what's up, long time no see. I've never been to a game, so I don't know if he's telling the truth or not, but I do think after hearing the Godfather's presser today, I think he agrees and don't like it. Yeah, I mean, look, is there some truth to what St. Brown said? There is. I mean, it's not like, yeah, the timing of his so-called, is there anything what they got that much to do with Atlanta? The timing of that, yeah, it seemed kind of hate-filled and it seemed kind of jump talky. But quite honestly, if you're an Atlanta Falcons season ticket holder, there's not a lot of untruth about what he said. It's just the fact that, you know how it is. Us amongst family fans, we can kind of talk about it. We don't need outsiders talking about it. Like, we're in our own house and we having a discussion about it, that's fine. Don't come from the outside talking junk. We ain't got time for all that. Go on about your business. We let us deal with all that. But Arthur Blank, I'm sure. He's kind of ticked off about that. But there's some truth to it. Let's see if the addition of Kirk Cousins can spark something. And more importantly, winning. We haven't been over 500 past week 8 since 2017. Folks, that's coming up on 10 years almost. Let that soak in you. We haven't been over 500 past week 8 of any season over the last 7 seasons since 2017. It's crazy. A1 Forever in the house. What's going on, Chris? Y'all make sure y'all go check out A1 Forever on YouTube. He's on several other outlets too. But Chris says, I saw that too, shaking my head. Little homie don't know Atlanta, though. We just want to win it. Yeah, I want to give them a pass. And my thing is, I was almost going to say, okay, you don't know about Atlanta, but, Young kid. I'll let him learn. See what he got. Larry said, I find it a little funny a Lions player calling anyone's fan base bad. I have family in Detroit, and until they recent fans was exactly like the Falcons fan. And that's the irony of all ironies. As I said earlier, Larry, dude, if it was a Philly person, somebody on Philly's team, Dallas's team, Pittsburgh's team, Green Bay's team, I would almost see it. I'm like, really? Detroit? Really? You had one little good year, and now you want to crap on other people's fan base? But I also have to be careful too. I'm look. He asked him for his opinion, so I respect that. That's his opinion. I disagree with it wholeheartedly, and I hope we get a chance to show on the field that in a playoff game that the fans can show up and show out for him. Miller says facts, Larry. Absolutely. Mark Cheney's in the house. What's going on, Mark? Mark is another one that's out there doing his thing. Mark says, to be fair, we had the worst atmosphere in the league outside of openers the last 4 years. And it's true. As I said, nobody's denying that, but I don't want to see anybody else talk about it. Look, that's internal stuff. You know how sometimes you talk amongst family and you have a little bickering and stuff like that, but when somebody from the outside jump in with their little opinion, and then you want to go jump on them. Like, bro, worry about Detroit. Y'all should have been in the Super Bowl with your Kyle Shanahan thinking coach. I'm gonna go for fourth down every time. That's our identity. Oh. Kelvin said it ain't the prices, it's that traffic. I'd rather watch on TV. Plus food I get is cheaper. Now, I'll say this, that traffic is something else. Like if you don't go to the guy, I have to go early. And I'm somebody I go to church every week and I have to leave service ahead of time, about an hour ahead. Because if I don't, I won't make it. But that's something you have to plan for. And then going home, oh my goodness. Yeah, if you go to the Falcons game and you have less than a fourth of a tank and you stay more than 20, 30 minutes away, you might be in trouble. Because it'll be some days, man, you try to tackle that traffic, you'll run out of gas. Because it takes that, it's that bad getting out of there. I'm surprised they don't have a better traffic flow going out of there after all these years. I mean, Georgia Dome wasn't much greater, but just seems like the Benz is just even worse. Dixon Ways, in my opinion, Atlanta is just the go-to when they really can't think of anything. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Yeah, I hear you. We're the punching bag of stuff like that. We shouldn't be, but we're the punching bag. Speaking of ultimate fans, the Falconator is in the house. My brother Vinny is in here. I mean, hey. He said they are in the bins. They just aren't in their seats. Now, that's actually true, too. And I'll say, Vinny, you probably remember more. The Dome was very notorious for it. That Dome, you would get the fans in there, but it wouldn't be until mid-second quarter, sometimes halftime, because everybody was out there partying. And that's fine, because we've kind of embraced the tailgate culture here in Atlanta. Like, set up the tailgates, the coach was hopping all up and down Northside Drive. Folks got that, it was the culture to have the tailgate. That's why they made the little Home Depot backyard, which I'll have a story about that later. But they had to do all of that to embrace that because they know a lot of folks like to tailgate. They like to barbecue. They like to grill. But to Vinny's point, Come on inside. That's where the game is. I don't want to hear the roar of the crowd muffled as I'm outside grilling. I want to be inside in my seat watching. But again, some people vibe like that. And, if you can't afford to go into the game, that's what people do. Now, to Vinny's point, the people who are season ticket, that just never made sense to me. If I'm paying what I'm paying, even when we were in the dome, if I'm paying that type of money, I'm trying to get in my seat. I'm not trying to sit outside. But to each his own. Larry says season tickets are sold out this season from what the wife told me today. Yeah, we talked about that before you got on. Yeah, they sold out all the season tickets, but back to Vinny's point, but are they going to come in? And we're in a culture now where watch this is going to happen first game. We play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Dallas. Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Dallas. No matter what, they are going to find a way to finagle some tickets from somebody. We might be sold out day one, but I guarantee you it's going to be an infiltration of visitors. So I tell you, Falcon fans, sell your tickets. I'm a capitalist. So knock yourself out. But, man, try to sell it to a Falcon fan. I ain't trying to hear this. I don't want to see all these Steelers fans. I don't want to see these terrible towels. I don't want to see any of that junk. You're going to see it already. But I don't want to see all that. If we sold out all the season ticket packages, then there should be an influx of Falcons fans. It should be. Kelvin says, too many fair weather fans. During 2016, this stadium was packed. 16, listen, I'm trying to tell you. That run when Matt Ryan came, now I will say the year Vic got all into trouble. When Vic first got here, up until his drama, the stadium was fairly full. Then, of course, 2007, I don't blame the fans. A lot of drama, whatever. Those Matt Ryan years from 08 to 12, and even 13, but people didn't, a lot of people got hurt and all that. The dome was packed. The dome was packed. Now, I think even the year that we played the game, 2014, the year that the Falcons had a chance to win the division at they would have been 7-9, but Carolina came in here and boat raced us that game. It was still fairly packed. So the dome crowds were still pretty good, even with the fair weather fans. Henry's in the house. What's going on, Henry? Thank you for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Again, as y'all coming in, do me a favor. Hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, I'll make sure y'all hit that. Tell your friends. We getting ready to crank this bad boy back up this year. Again, I know we've been advertising it a little bit. We're going to have a Atlanta Falcons content creator meetup, which also means all of you who listen to a lot of your favorite content creators out there. It's way too many to name. I'm going to name the ones that are kind of coordinating with me. Big Low Country Sports is going to be involved. We're trying to get this thing organized. We're going to be at Benchwarmers in Stockbridge, right off I-75, exit 222 in Henry County. And we're going to watch the second preseason game of the year, Baltimore Ravens. Game starts at noon. That give everybody plenty of time to get there, watch a little bit of the game. You could take off and still have a lot of Saturday left. So we're just going to get together, have a good time. Friends, family, doesn't matter. We got a good little part of the place on Saturday. And we're going to have some fun because y'all know we're going to be there. We're going to have some fun. Miller Mills says, first off, Unc, who said they're going to make the postseason? Yeah, that's true. That's actually a good point. Detroit's pretty tough, though. I got to admit. They did a really good job building that team up. Kelvin says, I thought it was just me. I wanted to stay in the dome. Nah, listen. I'm all for upgrading. I'm all for new. I'm all for making things better and new experiences. I get it. That's no problem. But I do think sometimes you have to look at the economics of things. The truest what the Braves did with Truist is they kind of went where their fans were. I mean, that was where most of the fans were on the I-75 corridor up north. And not to say you didn't have fans anywhere else, but that was a heavy concentration of where they were. So guess what? That's why they built the stadium. And they kind of streamlined a little bit, made it a little smaller. Remember at one time, everybody was building the real big stadiums. And then they said, for baseball, if I'm going to invite you here 80 times, I'm not going to have 50,000 seats in the stadium. People start smartening up about that. Well, Arthur Blank, I give him credit. He said to himself, he's going to keep the Falcons in the city so he can help the economy. And kudos for him for that. But he knew that would also come at a price. He knew he was probably outpricing a lot of his core fans. And whether you were coming outside the perimeter or not, that was just going to be, a lot of, as somebody earlier said about traffic and things of that nature. Those are real life problems. So I can understand where people may not make it. And I get it. But yeah, I would love, especially Kelvin, the way it ended at the Dome, of course. I think I'm not trying to make it clear. I know I just waxed poetic about everything at the Dome. It wasn't like it was peaches and cream all the time in the Dome. But to be able to have that crescendo at the end of the Dome, I think it makes it more for a romantic story, how it ended, how we closed the Dome by being able to win that first home championship game. And I say first time we won a home championship game in the Dome. So that was just kind of ended on a high. So you get a lot of people that say, man, the Dome was that. Yeah, the Dome was, but we ended on that note. So that's why it always ends up seeming to be a little bit more than it was. Ron Thomas is in here. What's going on, Ron? How you doing, sir? Hope everything's going well with you, my friend. As well as my brother Corliss is in the house. What is going on, brother? He said, what's good, Steve? I say no because he's not in our division. Now, again, you're right. I think I was just going for immediate reaction. I know people have seen the clip by now. So for today, he's public enemy number one. I'm sure we got our eyes set on folks in New Orleans and Tampa Bay more than we have as far as people in Detroit. So I get it. But for today, he's going to be the enemy today. David Starks is here. What's going on, Dave? Hope everything's going well, my friend. He said, Amon-Ra St. Brown told the truth. Problem is he's not spent much time in Atlanta. There are a myriad of things to do instead of watching a losing product. Again, this is where the reality check comes in. So I was saying to us, David, yeah, that's a conversation we have between fans. When you hear an outsider saying it, even if there is a little hint of truth, you still just don't like it. If you're fighting amongst each other in your family, there might be some truth about some things that you talk about. You just can't have an outsider come in and talk about it. So for today, that's why he's kind of an enemy. But you're right. You're right. Yeah, the part about what to do in Atlanta, I was kind of think he was being tongue in cheek, but again, that's not a comment for him. The Birdcage in the house. What is going on, brother Ryan and his folks doing their thing on Thursdays? Always bringing us some nice talk, good interviews on Thursday evening. Y'all make sure y'all check the Birdcage out. He said, what's going good, Uncle Steve? And he's talking about Jorge Soler and Luke Screw Up Jackson. But Luke Jackson, if you look, he wasn't doing that bad the last couple of weeks. That's probably why they made that move. I just think it's more of a nostalgic move for Alex Anthopoulos, which is a little interesting. Just something to maybe inject a little energy into the team. I'm at a point right now, folks, with the Braves. I think we're more dangerous from an underdog standpoint than we are 8 games up in the division. Maybe because we got to work for it and work hard. Maybe we will. If we remember the 2021 year, we were under 500 at this point. We were under 500 at the trade deadline. And then we made our move. We're still one of the better teams in the league. Just got to get our stuff together. Maybe get a couple of healthy bodies. Obviously, getting all Ozzy back. Obviously, trying to get Money Mike back on Max Free. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to get those guys back at a good time. Travis Preston is in the house. What's going on, Travis? Travis says, I think the PSLs messed up attendance numbers. It was something new and people were thrown off by it. 28-3 probably had something to do with it as well. I'll say this. That first year, of course, when you get the new shiny toy, I think it was nice. Everybody was paying attention to it. It got a lot of attention, things of that nature. But I think coming off that Super Bowl year, I don't think it would have mattered if you were playing in the Georgia Dome or down at Grady Stadium. The Falcons were hot at that time coming off of the Super Bowl. I don't think the 28-3 affected people coming because that first year at the Benz, it was pretty crowded. It still wasn't 100%. I have never, ever seen a Falcons game at capacity at the Benz. So I think the prices did more than 28-3. People are going to come to watch football no matter what. That 17 year was the most crowded I've seen the Benz for the Falcons. Of course, all that's notwithstanding all the college games and bowls and championships and all that, the SEC championship. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about as far as the Falcons are concerned. I've never seen it more crowded than it was in 17. Smidge of 18 at the beginning of the year before everybody got hurt. But 17, I think because everything was new, everybody was, hyped about it. Larry says, yes, me and Shonda were season ticket holders for Matt first 7 years. We love our team, and we started stream now. How are we less of a fan, we at home, especially when our fandom is public online? Yeah, I'm a big proponent of not trying to put that moniker on folks. Folks can be the biggest fan of the world sitting in front of that same couch, chilling at home. As a matter of fact, dare I say, I think I've seen stronger fans sitting at home watching the game than at the Dome. There's some people that's just there to be seen. There's some people. I lose my voice when I go to the stadium. I'm not telling you that to make me any bigger of a fan. Because when they say noise, I say yes. When they say scream, I scream. When they say swag surf, I swag surf. I don't know why. But I'm a team player when it comes to stuff like that. But guess what? If you're at home and you're screaming at the TV, I hate to bring my buddy on the Marcus Washington. That's my guy. That brother had a mini stroke online. You ain't going to sit here and tell me that man is not a strong Falcon fan. I don't mean to put his business out there, but that was public. But that you're not going to sit there and tell me that sitting at home makes you less of a fan. No. Ryan said Matzik had us when we shut down the NLCS, I'm sorry, versus the Dodgers. Yep, that's what I was mentioning. Absolutely. Ryan also says former Falcons offensive guard Lincoln Kennedy said in the interview that I conducted with him that we got to win to get fans to come, period. I made a short of it. Yeah, you do. Yeah, winning. Win. I tell everybody the little movie, Field of Dreams, do the football version. Win, and they will come. Win. If you win, they will. You're going to already have the base fans. It's the randoms that you're trying to get. It's the randoms. And when I say the randoms, I'm not saying I'm not throw the people who are at home. If you're at home, you're at home. That's fine. But those Falcon fans that are on the fence that's like, yeah, I have some money and I can afford the tickets, but do I really want to see a 7-10 team again? Do I really want to spend money? I might go to one game a year, maybe, just to go and whatever. Those are the fans that you got to get if you're winning. If you're winning, you will get those fans. Bottom line. Billy Mills says, is Amon-Ra from Cali? I don't know where the brother from. He ain't from Atlanta, so I don't care. And I'm not saying that flip to you. I'm just saying I don't care where he's from. Brother Jack Spade is in the house. What is going on? Y'all don't know Jack Spade. Jack Spade is one of the anchors of the Rise Up tour and the host of One Time for the Fan. Him and Terry doing their thing over there. He says, I'm sorry, who is Amon-Ra Brown St. Brown again? And which Walmart did he work at? Yeah, that's kind of where I am with that. It really is. I like, dude, who are you talking about? You ain't even been in the league a year or two to talk junk about a fan base. What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm right there with you on that one, man. Dre says, unfortunately, and I don't think I mentioned it. Y'all make sure y'all check out One Time for the Fan. My apologies. Like and subscribe to the channel. I think, have y'all hit either they have hit 1,000 or they right on 1,000, but it doesn't matter. Make it 1,001. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to One Time for the Fan. Jack is, and there's a couple of y'all out there, and Benny, one of them, the Falconator, Jack Spade. Those are run through the wall cats with no pads and no helmet. And not to say that a lot of you in here aren't, but I've witnessed those guys in action. And that's that energy. I think a lot of folks, you can build on that. Y'all, we can build on that. Y'all remember Benny, right? Benny at the draft, little knucklehead Patriots fan. Or not even Patriots fan. People talking 28-3. He verbally assaulted them on national TV. Those are the fans that I kind of vibe with. Those ride or die. Yeah, 3-14 sucks, but we'll be here for it. Those are those guys. But then in contrast, as Dre says, unfortunately, winning cures all. And as sad as it is, once we start winning, they'll be back. Remember the feeling when everybody's favorite guy last year?
I like that spin.
Remember when we started off 2-0? And there were some folks talking about Pro Bowl for that quarterback? And then things went sour real quick. I don't have to remind you about London. I don't have to remind you about Detroit. Winning cures all. And as much as, I mean, listen, nothing is automatic. I do like my chances more with Kirk Cousins. But you got to do it. Got to put it on the field. Let's get it. GA's in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you out here. Thanks for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Jack says Home Depot backyard won't be around much longer. Yeah, but here's the crazy thing. True story. I tried to buy tickets this year. Allegedly, we were supposed to get a heads up about it. And I go on there, and all the tickets for the parking lot where I wanted to go are gone. So I had to get a Home Depot parking spot this year. Blessed to be able to get it. Not happy about it, but I had to get something. So I hope they do something with that particular parking. What's going on, brother? How you doing? Thank you for joining us on Uncle Steve's Lounge. He ate you. What's up, Unc and chat? Antonio is in the house. Thank you for joining us, brother. What's up, Unc? Before last year, Detroit had one playoff win in nearly 60 years. Fool, shut up. Absolutely. Yeah, that's the irony of all ironies. When you got somebody from Detroit dogging you out, that's crazy. That's crazy. Vinny says a lot of people buy season tickets as an investment. Dallas, Pittsburgh, and Kansas City will pay top dollar. Vinny, and as I said at the beginning, at the top, I have no problem with people being capitalistic about things. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. Quite honestly, Vinny, I buy tickets to the Georgia, I think we have a quarterfinal game this year. It's either a quarterfinal or semifinal game, whichever one it is. I bought that one. I bought the Georgia Clemson game. I have zero desire to go to those games. But guess what I am going to do? You got it. It's an investment. But at the same time, I think when it comes to the Falcons, for some reason, I guess because of being a hypocrite, for some reason, I just feel like you should stick with your Falcons. Billy Mill says, unless we pump and fake ticket sales, stadium noise. Y'all stop that. Stop that. Oh, man. He said those other cities got the season tickets was cheaper because 2 tickets you can get cheap. PSL $650. Yeah. That's one thing, the PSL, I didn't get it until I went into the office with that dude. He's like, yeah, the tickets cost this. I was like, oh, great. And now the PSL will be, wait a minute. That's not the same? No, sir. Crazy. Georgia, Texas boys in the house. What's going on, brother? Thank you for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Say, what's good, Uncle Steve and Falcons family? How is everyone? Also, y'all thoughts on Kamala Harris being in Atlanta today? I'm glad for her. I'm being brutally honest, I kind of steer away on here from politics. Politics is something that I really have my own opinions about, and sometimes that's worse than sports. So I'm glad she's here. Good for her. Go out and vote. Leave it like that. He says, I get other teams in my section 20 plus every week, guaranteed. Yeah. Same where I am. Same way I got some seats right next to me. And I don't know. I know the guys that originally have them. But when they don't come, you bet your bottom dollar I'm sitting next to some Saints fans, Tampa fans, Carolina fans all the time. The aforementioned Tidy Jones in the house. That's my brother. Atlanta Bird Gang. Y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel. He said it's kind of unfair to call fans fair weather based on 2016 attendance. That season was an anomaly and ceremonious due to the fact we all knew the Georgia Dome was closing. Almost kind of the perfect storm. It was kind of the perfect storm that particular season. And I do know, to Tidy's point, think about how that season started. It wasn't like it was starting as if we were going to run away. Matter of fact, we lost the home opener against Jameis. So it's not like that season started with Super Bowl thoughts. We were coming off an 8-8 season. We were coming off year where the Carolina Panthers had only lost one game in our division. The Saints were still the Saints. So we can't act like that season was set up for greatness for the last year. But to Tidy's point, we all knew it was coming to an end. So it was, pumped up probably a little bit more than it would have been. Also, a huge part of that, Tidy, is if we remember, think about how things fell for us that year. At the end of the year, Seattle was supposed to be the number 2 seed. Seattle lost the game against Arizona. And tell you how I remember this stuff because I remember watching that. Seattle lost the game against Arizona, who Arizona was garbage that year. They lost a game against Arizona in the last second. And when they lost that game, because they had a tie also on their record, when they lost that game, that gave us the new number 2 seed the game before we played New Orleans. And so we were the number 2 seed that year. Dallas was number 1, favored to beat Green Bay. So the last game was not only did we almost miss out on a home game from Seattle not being the number 3 seed to us moving to number 2, Dallas did us the favor of losing to Green Bay, so we got that extra game to make that NFC championship. So again, a lot of things lined up. I know I was long-winded about that, but just to kind of prove what Tidy's point, what he was saying, that was a lot of variables in there. Armand, what's going on, sir? He said, what's in that can you're drinking? I am drinking, sir, Coke Zero. No libations today. So, oh man, nah. Tidy says the Benz a soccer stadium and mega entertainment facility. The Falcons just happen to play there. Hey, that's about what a lot of people think. No doubt. Winston, what's going on, Winston, from the eye test? Y'all make sure y'all check the eye test out on YouTube as well. Him and John Davis. I done renamed the man. John Harris doing their thing on Wednesday. What's going on in chat? Smash that like button. He's right. Y'all make sure y'all smash the like button for us. CDS Polite says, now no Gulch parking gonna be my oh yeah. They built and that thing coming up fast too. I remember when they tore that stuff down. And that stuff coming up real fast. Avini says the Dome didn't give you as many options to watch the game other than your seat. Also less freedom to navigate. This is true. You basically had to stay in the level you had your tickets for. Also, no clubs in the lower level sections where the cameras are. That's a big reason it looks empty. Now, I'll say this. So, full disclosure, I'm down in the 100 sections down there as well. So, to Vinny's point, there is like on both sides, home and away. You got the nice little lounge section down there and the huge bar and things of that nature. So you're right. You can enjoy the game being in the atmosphere and feeling it down there without being in your seat. So, yeah, Georgia Dome didn't have that. Basically, you had the little obvious aisles where you had the concessions and stuff, but that was it. You have these little areas now, and they're even making another area up there where Molly B's is. That's supposed to be another back suite to that. I just got something in the email about that today. So, yeah, that's another reason why you don't see as many people in there. Very good point, man. Very good point. Matt Down Dirty in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. I appreciate you, as always. Titus says, I've been to a couple of SEC championship games. The Benz is an amazing place to be when it's maxed out to its capacity. I hope the Falcons can experience that too. Let's hope that this team can bring that magic, man. We just want to win in season. I'm not asking for look, I always want the Super Bowl for my Falcons. Let's get an atmosphere to his point. Let's get that experience of us being 7-3 playing a game in the fall in early November at 7-3. Give me a December game with playoff implications where the Falcons are if we win this game, we can do that. Not one of these, man. If 5 team loses, if these 5 team loses and this team scores 20 points, we'll slip into the 7th slot. No. Give me a game where we're saying, hey, we're fighting for the number 1 seed or fighting for the number 2 seed or a division is on the line, but if we lose the division, we still in the playoff. One of those type games. That'll build some excitement. That'll get the people in the seats, in my opinion. He said, I go to the games and still have to come and watch on replay because I miss things at the game. Plus, bring back programs. Please. That is something that you don't see anymore. I guess they start figuring, hey, we're making all of that. We're making all the money. We're not going to produce all this paper stuff. I do remember the programs they used to have where you have the pictures of the rosters and stuff. Yeah. Kay, what's going on, man? Good to see you in the house. What's going on? He said, what's up, Unc? I remember us discussing Justin Fields way back when. Now look at us. The future is bright. Absolutely. How quickly things change, sir. How quickly they change. You're absolutely right. Henry says, I'm a Falcons fan from Los Angeles. I still represent the Falcons 100%. St. Brown's comment doesn't matter a whole lot. No, it doesn't. I mean, at the end of the day, it's, again, y'all, we haven't kicked it off for real. So some of these small things are just, things to talk about, subjects to have until we kick this season off. So at the end of the day, no, I'm not going to over obsess about his comments, but I just thought they were kind of interesting coming from somebody from a team that really doesn't have a winning legacy. Like if that's somebody from Pittsburgh, if that's somebody from Green Bay, if that's somebody from Dallas, I would even say, okay, but Detroit? Come on, man. Billy says, Unc, I'm up here in Delaware and I fly our flag proudly here in Philadelphia territory. I'm one of those strong fans outside the perimeter. And that's what we need, brother. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we need. We need those type of fans. Henry, I was gonna ask you, are you gonna be in Vegas? I'm gonna be in Vegas for that Vegas game. That's about the closest we're gonna get to LA, brother. I need you to I'll hope, again, not trying to go into your pockets, but I hope we get a chance to meet out there, brother. Come on out there in Philly, the same way. Millie, I want to go to that Philly game, but I'm afraid I probably have to go by myself because I know the first person that throws something on one of my family, my wife or daughter or something. I ain't worried about my son. He can take care of himself. But first person to say something out of line or do something, I know I might be in trouble. But I would like to try to go to that game. But I know that's a Monday night. I probably won't be able to make that one. Lord ADS is in the house. What's going on? He said, brother, I'm hyped. Hear ye, football season is upon us. Yes, it is, my friend. It is almost that time. Jack says, we do this for the fan base, Falcons for life. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Kevin says, I remember St. Brown. That Lions game hurt. How many chances do you want the defense to give you? I want the Lions, not the Vikings. Yeah, that's another game where the play of our former quarterback and the aptitude of our former coach probably played a lot in that. I think we could have done a lot better, in my opinion, but I'm gonna let that slide on past. But you're Spot on, Kelvin. Retro G is in the house. What's going on, bro? Hadn't seen you in a while. What's going on? Yeah, he says it's been a hot minute. It has, but you know what? It's football season, so we getting folks back in here just like my other brother. This is another one right here. One of my guys from a way back. Raymond Collins, what's going on, my friend? What we missed out on. We were talking a little about more about fandom. Amon-Ra St. Brown threw his little 5 cents on the floor, trying to talk about Falcons fans. Lower ADS says, personally, I need to see more. No, we do need to see more. No doubt. Dexter says it's time for Terry to cook up some Judon. Could be available from or Hen from Cincinnati. We need to go after a bona fide pass rusher, but I like our team, but we just need at least one great pass rusher. I cannot disagree with that at all. I think the only thing is I'm looking at our salary situation right now. It doesn't look like there's a lot of room in there for anything like that. I would love to have Judon on the team, but any of those folks that we talking about, either Judon from New England, Hassan Reddick, looks like he's holding out. Any of those folks like that, if they're going to come to a team, think about what I heard somebody talk about. Let's bring Hassan Reddick here. Well, guess what? Hassan Reddick got traded to the Jets thinking he was going to get paid. He's not getting paid because he's going to sit out here. What is he going to do? Just coming to Atlanta is going to make him go on the field? He wants to get pay aid, and I don't think we have pay aid money on our books right now. Oh yeah, CDX polite. Yeah, that buried 2-point history. But you know what? That 2-point, I remember that game for another reason. That was the last game we lost until the Super Bowl. That was the last one we lost that game. Kelvin says, can't wait for the 9th. Yes, sir. Kurt, probably no preseason, but we might get a half of Penix. Heard he hitting that on that deep ball. Yeah, Cousins is too. Yeah, I think that's a smart move. I have no problem with Kirk Cousins not getting any time in the preseason, especially coming off the Achilles. I have zero problem with that. This is a different story than last year when we didn't let Desmond get Desmond had one drive. This is a totally different situation. Kirk Cousins knows what to do. He knows what's up. I totally trust him in that particular in the offense. Absolutely. Henry said, I might, my brother. Well, if you do, please hit me up and let me know. I plan me and the wife are going to be there, definitely checking things out, having a good time. Hopefully, as I was saying earlier, that's one of those we're 10-5 or 10 well, I think it's what is that, week 12, 13, something like that. Well, whatever. I hope we have a winning record. Atlanta Falcons pandemic doing his thing. As always, y'all make sure y'all go over to Atlanta Falcons pandemic. Do me that favor. Hit that sub over there on that channel. Brother be putting out some good information, good videos. He's chilling in the lounge. What's good, everybody? Henry also says Jameis ran to Cleveland. He knew better. He knows the Falcons are cooking up something. You know what? I think Jameis ran himself out of there. I think that 2-point, I'm not 2-point, that little victory formation touchdown, that didn't sit well with Coach Dennis Allen. Not that I'm defending Dennis Allen on anything, but I think that's one of those that you can't have your backup quarterback overriding your coach. I don't care if it's the last play of the game or last play of the season or anything. I think that was a nasty look, and Jameis probably knew that was his days were numbered. Dexter says, I'm gonna go to the Philly game with 3 friends that's Eagles fans. If any fans throw on anything on me, my friends better be prepared to go because I'm knocking somebody out in Harlem Nights. Oh man. Yeah, I just can't mess with Philly, man. Not like that. Retro G says, I got my ticket for the Monday night game in Vegas, brother. Well, I will hopefully see you there, man. Listen, even this talk with you all today reaffirmed that, yeah, fans, we're not really as worried about Amon-Ra and St. Brown as, you know, maybe the media would say we are when people say things like that. I just want us to be excited about this coming year. I think we got a lot of things to look forward to, a lot of good stuff that's happening with this franchise now. So I just wanted that. I just want that excitement back. I just want that winning feeling back. Antonio says since the Benz has been open, the Falcons have been mediocre at best and uninteresting until this year. I can't argue that. The first year we were coming off the Super Bowl, we had a 10-6 record that year, but you know, some of the luster of the 28-3 year and you know kind of died down a little bit. But hey, we tried to do our thing. Jonathan Thomas, what's going on, brother? Good to see you in here. He said, man, I ain't been on in here in a minute. What's going on? What's going on with you, my friend? Man, hopefully you'll start getting back with us again. The season is starting. We are going to be back on a regular basis on the Monday Minutia. Started in a couple of weeks. We are going to also be doing our thing, the second preseason game. Y'all come join us at Benchwarmers out in Stockbridge off of I-75 in Henry County, exit 222. We'll be doing our thing with some of the content creators doing their stuff out there. So we hope you all will join us for that. My brother Dexter says, I plan meeting you personally face-to-face this year, Unc. Yes, sir. We done talked for a few years now, and we have never met. I'm going to catch you at one of them games so you and I can finally meet the great Unc. Brother, it's always a pleasure. I've run into a couple of y'all at games, and everybody's just so nice and so polite, especially my family's there. I appreciate you, Dexter. I look forward to meeting you. I hopefully look forward to meeting a lot of you this coming year. There's no way you're going to miss me this year. I got some surprises I'm going to have this year that hopefully you all will be able to recognize me at the games or in my truck this particular year. Hopefully you'll be looking out. Until then, folks, I appreciate everyone joining us today. I just wanted to pop on to do some things. I'm steering a lot of this, folks. I hope y'all go over and check out my folks from 95 North Sports Machine. They're on right now talking about training camp. Y'all get on there. Give those guys some love. Let them know that Uncle Steve sent you from Uncle Steve's Lounge. If y'all go over there and hit Smitty Sports Machine, 95 North, let them know Uncle Steve sent you. I'll talk to you all later on. Thank you for joining me today for this pop-up show. Appreciate y'all. Atlanta Falcon fans are the best. Everyone have a great night, and we will talk to you soon. Y'all take care.